Hello, everybody. Here I am Samuel Fatim the Dragon Tamer here, and welcome to another uh, states interview where we interview some people who've done well last couple states of this year. And today we have Garrison Bratton, who topped eight week 3 of Arkansas
hmm
with his Night March Milotic deck.
Yeah, Night March. What can you do about it?
Yeah, Night March is Night March. It's the virus of
Was
Pokemon.
chasing your world's invite. You do what you gotta do.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. Like, get good. Right?
Um,
Alright.
yeah.
So,
So, you want me to
so
talk a little bit about the deck?
Sure. Just first things. Sure. Just first things first. What made you make the decision to play Night March and this particular version in general?
Well, so my roommate and good buddy, travel buddy, we go to a lot of tournaments together. He was going to Nebraska week 2,
Uh huh.
um, and we couldn't really decide like what was the play. Every single time we kept coming back, but Night March, but Night March. Uh, and then like Trevenant wasn't consistent enough to we thought to play against Night March and top a tournament. But anyways, and so we decided, well, screw it and play Night March. And so then the question came down to like how do you tech for the mirror, and we kind of focused our deck around beating the mirror matchup, which kind of also gave us outs to a lot of other matchups as well.
Nice.
Yeah, and so he ended up actually winning Nebraska States with it, and then I played the same 60, and another one of my teammates played the same 60, and we both got top 8 at Arkansas. And then he also gave it to, oh, by the way, Caleb Higdon. He gave the list to some senior who just messaged him on Facebook. He was like, I really want to play Night March and do well, and he ended up winning 2 states. So
Did he ever get
yeah.
anything out of it?
No, I don't think so. Just pride. He takes pride in his deck building skills, so he was pretty happy to see that.
There's always those people who could just like make a list and have everyone win with that list.
Yeah, no kidding. The list ended up coming from Aaron Garcia, who got second place at Texas Texas mini regionals states. Had like 270 people there. No big deal. He got second, and we took his base list and we added the text that we can talk about in a little bit.
Yeah. Like that pretty much was like I've been to like regionals smaller than Texas states was. Like holy crud! I think every single year will get bigger and bigger. Next thing you know, it'll be like a nationals.
No kidding.
So, walk us through your tournament. What did you face round 1?
Oh my goodness. I don't know if I'm going to be able to remember round by round, but I do remember round 1. It was a Vespa Queen Night March. The guy only was playing. I kind of recognized early that he wasn't playing any way to get back energy. He was only playing the 4 DCE.
Ooh, no puzzle of time.
Yeah, no puzzle of time, no like bronzong or anything. And so each game I kind of just realized that and just didn't bench a shaman and just took knockouts. So there was really no way for him to win.
That's clever.
Yeah, so that was pretty handily.
I'm pretty sure it's also kind of nice not to start it with any shaman either, because you do play 4 shaman.
Yeah. No, the list is pretty ballsy. It's a pretty ballsy list.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing it. Like people are seeing it, the list, and yeah, it's a little out there, man.
It is a little out there. So like, our kind of thought process was Night March can potentially beat every deck.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to kind of optimize its sacking power. Okay. And so and this was actually the 4 shaman and the 1 sycamore. That was part of Aaron Garcia's list.
Yeah.
That he got second at states with. And so kind of like that base, cut the acrobikes instead of the trainer's mail.
Yeah.
That all came from Aaron. And we took that and we replaced 3 cards We replaced one acrobike, the enhanced hammer, and the buddy buddy rescue with the catchers and the whistle.
Yeah, the catchers and the whistle, man. That seems a little...
Yeah, you just kill shamans. That's how the deck works. You just kill 3 shamans and you win the game. That's like the idea.
So, what did you play round 2 with?
That way.
So wait, for round 1, how did that match ended up? You said you pretty much won, right? So what was the final score?
Yeah, I ended up 2-0ing him.
Yeah.
A lot of any deck that's playing Night March, one of the big intricacies to that, either the mirror or whether it be Night March Vesper Queen, is your shaman manipulation. Mm-hmm. Is it worth to bench the shaman? Do you think your opponent can get the knockout next turn on it? If not, do you either have the AZ or can you Sky Return on a Joltik? That's what that whole matchup's about.
Yeah.
And that plays into the same idea of playing catcher and whistle because you just want to kill shamans.
Yeah, and I've noticed with a lot of Night March Vesper Queen decks that it does seem kind of favored to the Night March players because, especially if their decks are, because Night March players' decks in general seem a bit more consistent than Vesper Queen Night March decks.
Definitely. I think that with the advent of Puzzles of Time, you don't need more attackers, right?
I don't think
so. I think that's kind of the idea between Night March Vesper Queen is you can use your 6 non-EX attackers a little bit easier than Night March would be having to get back a Joltik or getting back a Pumpkaboo from the discard, but frankly, puzzles just kind of eliminate all worries about resources, which lets you play a more consistent, little bit faster. You have the couple more tech cards and stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't need to play the 2/2 Milotic line.
No, 1/1 really worked out fine. In fact, a lot of people when they went to puzzles dropped Milotic altogether. But I thought that it complemented puzzles really well.
Yeah, because you had to. I think like about to say, sorry for interrupting, that you end up having to get rid of puzzle earlier, you can just grab another puzzle with Milotic and get an extra card or something like that.
Mm-hmm, and then get 2 cards instead of just 1 card off that Milotic. Yeah, so it's consistent, still playing Milotic in there.
Yeah. So if you can remember it all, what did you play round 2?
I'm going to be frank, I don't think I'm going to be able to remember all this. I do remember I played a Trevenant matchup. I played a Vesper Queen Vileplume matchup in both Swiss and Top 8. I played Max Armitage playing Evil Tall. I think the rest were Night March Mirrors. To be honest, played a lot. I played a good amount of those. To be frank, it was a small states.
How many rounds were there?
We were, I think, 2 short of hitting the top 16 get points. So I think that's 64. So we had like 62, I believe.
So
I think that's right.
So that would be like what, 7 rounds?
6 rounds before top.
Ooh,
yeah.
6 rounds. So that was kind of small.
It was definitely a small.
Well, Arkansas is a small state in general. It's a nobody state. Let's be honest.
It was beautiful though. Next year if anybody wants to come out, they have a great venue out there. It's overlooking this lake, and they have it on like the 3rd story of a hotel that has like this beautiful balcony that you can go out between rounds.
Oh, that's probably was awesome to do.
Yeah, definitely.
I need some fresh air. Just go upstairs. Oh, that was wonderful.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, like I was saying, the Night March Mirrors is what the deck was focused around. Some tactics we developed were you want to go first, which a lot of Night March Mirrors don't. They choose to go second.
Yeah.
But if you go first and you judge them, and then it forces them to bench a shaman. Yeah. Usually forces them to bench a shaman. So if you can get a judge off without benching your own shaman and you force them to take a knockout on a Joltik or a Pumpkaboo, it doesn't matter if they got the first knockout because you're going to kill 3 shamans after that.
That's a nice way to do it. You say you can't remember for the most part what you played, but do you remember what deck you lost to and what deck you tied against?
So I lost to Trevenant. I lost to Trevenant. That's definitely its worst matchup by far. I think Bioplume's a little bit better because I don't think they're. I don't know. It really just depends on turn one, to be honest, on those matchups. But then my tie was actually a Night March Mirror that I feel like I could have won, but time just happens sometimes, and you can't get it done.
So you didn't ID in the last round. You ended up having to play out all 6 rounds then, correct?
Correct. I had to win my last round to get in. There's actually a little bit of a story behind that. Shout outs to Max. It was an awful game, and I take no pride in winning. He just dead drew both games, and then he went and made that salty Facebook post, and I felt really bad.
It's one of those games where you just kind of feel bad for winning that way, but it's like one of those things where, well, we take those.
You did that right.
You don't want to take it, but at the same time, you kind of need to take it.
Yeah. There was a few strokes of luck that got me into top. I beat out because I bubbled in actually. There was a lot that had the same record. Out of top 8, 4 of us bubbled in technically. And then I think 2 of them bubbled out.
Ooh.
One of those being Squeaky. He ended up bubbling out right under me. And that was actually a stroke of luck because he played his only loss that day playing Waylord was to my roommate, who ended up dropping after going 2-2, which kind of killed his resistance. And he didn't even think about it until, we were all waiting for the who got top 8, right?
Oh. I kind of feel bad for a little bit for Squeaky, but he's already made his world invite by now.
True. I still got a little bit to go.
Yeah, I would feel bad for him, but he's fine. He's just trying to make his top 16 U.S. and Canada, I believe.
Very true.
Yeah. So what was he playing?
Excuse me?
What was Squeaky playing?
He was playing Waylord, Giratina, Aegislash. And his only loss was to my roommate, who played Manectric Bats on a bet he lost.
Whoa!
Yeah, he was.
That was an interesting deck. What Squeaky was playing.
Well, the item lock was killing him, and he also played Lugia, so he goes in with Lugia to kill the Bunnelby.
Yeah.
But then the Manectric killed the Lugia. He just kind of had an answer every single time because. With bat damage, and I think he was using bat damage to kill the Waylord's Bunnelby while also milling him with his Bunnelby. Caleb was kind of had the tools to beat that deck if he played correctly. But other than that, Squeaky went undefeated. He tied 1 match and then went undefeated the rest of the day.
Dang, that sucks. So what deck did you play against in top 8?
Top 8, I played against Vespa Queen Bioplume,
okay.
And I lost the dice roll, and I ended up going second, but he ends up not getting the turn 1, and I kind of just scrounged a victory after that, getting a pretty good setup. Actually, no, that was game 3. Game 1, I'm not remembering. He had such a dead hand. I don't think he even got Vileplume lock until 1 turn in the game at the very end.
Cool.
It kind of bricked for him, and it kind of bricked for me too because I started Shaman and prized 3 Shamans.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've never done that before.
Ooh. I've prized 4 Shamans, but I never started with Shaman, then had to prize the other 3.
Yeah, it kind of came down to me just hoping he didn't. He had a bad match, which let me win, and then which in as far as that matchup goes in a best of 3, it's really important winning that first one against Vespa Queen Bioplume, because it means that game 3, win or lose, you're going to get to go first, which you want to do in that matchup, obviously.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's kind of what the matchup comes down to is if Night March has a strong enough first turn, which kind of plays into the theme of the deck, right? This deck is a ballsy list; it just goes in. it plays choices like the 4 Shaman. So game 2, he ends up beating me, and then game 3, it was a real close game. But I don't think there was anything I really could have done.
Turbo and Vileplume too strong?
Turbo Vileplume too strong, yeah.
So, going back into... So, before we actually, no, not before we begin. So let's go over some of the deck choices that we already discussed a bunch of them to begin with, but... I've noticed, you only play one Sycamore, which, as we said before, is kind of ballsy. Did you regret that at all that day?
I would still play this list. I'm in love with this list. It's the 4th Shaman or the 2nd Sycamore.
Yeah.
But, it plays 2 Hex, which we thought was definitely more important to win your kind of, not as strong matchups. Because it can still win them. It can still sack them and win.
Trevenant and Vileplume, you mean, right?
Trevenant and Vileplume. Funny story about that. Caleb, who first was the first one to play this exact 60.
Yeah.
His 2 of his matches in top cut were Trevenant in the finals and Vespa Queen Vileplume in top 4. I think he played 7 hexes in a row against Vileplume.
7 hexes.
Yeah, he turned very beginning of the game, was able to hex and play items, and then he ended with a Versa Seeker or time puzzles for the hex again. So the deck can just sack like that, which kind of goes into theme with only playing 1 Sycamore, I guess.
I just noticed in a weird way, I think like the max amount of hexes you can play in this deck is maybe, I think maybe like some would be like about 10 or 11 or something like that. If you use all the time, possible time to get all the hexes and the BS Seekers. So
yeah,
7 hexes is very possible.
If you play, so this would be 1, 2, and then 6 with all your Versa Seekers, and then 4 more. So yeah, total. You're right, total of 10.
And then of course Milotic.
11 times. You could.
Technically you could, but like 7 alone is just wow. I bet that person in the phone were just kind of going, why? Just stop already.
Yeah, Night March can get stupid sometimes. It's true.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but I'm excited to be moving on from this format, which is nice.
Yeah. So how is the Giratina Toad matchup?
I don't know if it's just the South, but I don't think either Caleb and I in both of our runs played a single Giratina Toad. I would speculate that it's a bad matchup. It definitely is, but I've never played it, which is weird. But I don't know. It wasn't really. It got. I know it won Texas States, but we just didn't see it, and I guess we were kind of lucky in that regard. But we kind of guessed we wouldn't, just because trends don't say in our local area that it's played. I guess, to be honest, that's just what it kind of comes down to.
Yeah, because like your only answer against that deck is a Rosek. I mean, sure you can use your VS Seekers and puzzle times to get it back, but eventually there's only so much you can do before they use Toad and just Giratina and just wear you out eventually.
So, and this wasn't so. Aaron's original list played an enhanced hammer for that exact reason, for that exact matchup. Our justification for changing it was, well, you could also turn 1 catch or kill a Tina.
That's possible.
You're playing 2 catchers, you're going to go through 3/4 of your deck turn 1. Even if you use your Sycamore, you still have a 75% chance to bring that in the active, not even counting if you hit puzzles, which that's happened before. So the deck, if you focus on doing that and you hit it, you're probably just going to win that matchup from there. Because what are they going to do? Attach to a Toad and then Quaking Punch you, and then you just immediately take another knockout? You're going to win that matchup after you kill the Tina if that happens. So it just goes to show the sacking power of this deck and the way it's kind of built to sack.
Yeah, this deck definitely seems a little ballsy, but I love it. I like decks that are just kind of all out there sometimes. And we've already touched on this a little bit earlier, but in closing, actually, I was about to ask the deck changes you made, but you already said you wouldn't make any changes at all. But how many championship points do you have, and how far are you off?
I'm now at 180, so I need to do pretty well. I regretfully haven't been able to travel as much, but I'm not using that as an excuse. Hopefully I do well. I'm going to be going to one, maybe two spring regionals, and then I'll be at nationals. I've already just about maxed out my LCs, unfortunately, as well, so I don't know if I'll be able to do that.
Just win a regionals, you'll be fine.
That's true. I just keep telling myself I'm just going to win nationals. Like, it's all you really got to do. Not a big deal.
I have 30 championship points. I'm planning to win nationals. Like, I just win nationals. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Dreams can come true. Darn it. Not likely, but you never know. So, I think I was going to ask one more thing. Did you go into any other states at all?
I went to Texas states. I'm locally in Dallas, so it was right there. I played Eviltal, and I started off 5-0 and then just kind of fell off dead. I don't know what happened, but
you just lost in like 4 rounds.
Didn't even make the top 32. Like it was day 2 top 32.
Yeah.
And I literally needed a win.
Wow.
And I couldn't get it over like 3 rounds. So that was a little bit disappointing. That's kind of when I took a step back and I said, well, Eviltal kind of loses to Night March in my opinion. So I decided to Night March.
Yeah, Night March is pretty darn good. So anyway, thank you for your time today. That was names. That was Garrison Bratton.
Bratton.
Yeah, with his top 8 Night March deck, Night March Milotic deck. That's a little on the ballsy side.
That's for sure.
And I want to thank you once again for showing your list with us today, and being with us with this interview. And thank you once again for all that stuff. And for all my viewers out there, please like, subscribe. Hopefully, you like today's video. Please do all this silly stuff, and I shall see you guys on next time. And get good.